fucking balls, lick 'em. Listen, haters are going to hate, and the fact that Tony Bellew and Carl Froch didn't make any money out of the game.
Tyson Fury and Carl Froch are at it again, with Fury hitting back at Froch after the former world champion advised him to retire following his loss to Alexander Usyk. The two have never had the best relationship, so it's no surprise that they are making headlines during this heated exchange.
No, we won't be furious. It'll be okay.
You will be furious, you will be angry.
No, I won't be angry, I'll be focused.
They told me that when you are...
Carl Froch threw the first punch, and now Tyson Fury is hitting back. Following the second loss of his career, Fury responded to Froch's warning, telling him to mind his business and stay out of his lane unless he's ready to settle things in the ring.
It's obviously hurtful to him. And I'm making the biggest bags that's ever existed. I've just signed the biggest deal in boxing history, which I can't divulge to you right now.
Given the downward spiral the Morecambe native experienced after his loss in May, it's nothing short of a miracle that Tyson Fury is even challenging for a world title. Fury has been open about his struggles with depression following his 2015 victory over Vladimir Klitschko. His comeback back then was a testament to his resilience, proving that you can never count the 36-year-old out of any fight.
Strong as me. Not everybody's mentally as strong as me. Like, a lot of negative stuff can bring other people down. But it doesn't do shit to me because it's just like water off a duck's back. It doesn't do anything. I'm waterproof. But somebody's...
With another mountain to climb, DAZN Sports recently reposted a clip from a short documentary released before the first Usyk-Fury fight. The clip featured various boxing pros discussing Tyson Fury's downward spiral in 2015 and how he managed to bounce back and shock everyone. DAZN reshared the clip from their Road to Undisputed documentary, which was created in the lead-up to the clash for the undisputed heavyweight title between the two fighters.
Clickety-clank, you know, let Tony Bellew and Carl Froch do a little mock-up fight somewhere, see if they can get anyone interested in it. Who cares what they think? They're just average little boxers.
In the clip, while discussing Fury's past struggles with depression, boxing analyst Aid Oido explained that the biggest issue for Tyson Fury was the lack of support he received when he returned to England. Oido referred to Fury's victory over Vladimir Klitschko in Germany in 2015, highlighting how dethroning Klitschko and ending his nearly decade-long reign played a major role in Fury's mental health decline. After achieving his lifelong dream of becoming world champion, Fury felt a sense of purposelessness, leading to a spiral that took a toll on his well-being.
Mentally strong as me would be upset and hurt by other people's comments. But considering it means nothing to me at all, because when I'm out and about, you know, no one ever comes up to me and says, you know what, Tyson, I think you're and I think all...
The hopelessness Tyson Fury felt led him to turn to substance abuse as a way to cope. Former WBO heavyweight champion Joseph Parker recalled that he didn't believe the Morecambe native would ever return to the ring. After battling with drugs, alcohol, and significant weight gain, Parker said no one thought Fury would come back. It wasn't just outsiders who were worried for the former unified heavyweight champion. His brother, Roman Fury, also reflected on how frightening the situation was. He expressed concern over how much weight Tyson had gained and the other destructive behaviors he was displaying. This was a time when Fury was losing credibility in the boxing world. Eddie Hearn, head of Matchroom Boxing, recalled wanting to sign Fury, but after seeing his condition, Hearn was convinced the 6'9" giant would never reach the same heights again.
You've ever done? I know good, because they never have the guts to do that. But behind a computer screen, anybody can be anybody, and everybody's tough.
Eddie Hearn recalled meeting Tyson Fury in Monaco about 5 years ago when he was in poor condition, weighing between 25 and 26 stone, sweating heavily. Hearn thought to himself that Fury would never reach an elite level in the heavyweight division again. However, it was Frank Warren who took a chance on the broken Tyson Fury and helped turn his life around. Warren not only signed the Morecambe native under his Queensberry Promotions banner, but also gave him a platform to make his grand comeback. With a distraught expression, Warren reminisced about the time he signed Fury, recalling that he could see the desire in Fury's eyes. I thought, if I can get him the opportunities, I genuinely believed he could win the world title, Warren said. Tyson Fury signed with Queensberry Promotions in 2018, and since then he has not looked back. Warren played a pivotal role in orchestrating Fury's comeback fight in June 2018, more than 2 years after his unofficial retirement, when Fury faced Seferi.
That's what it is. I think people need to grow up and stop with all hating on other people. And if they want to do something themselves, guess what? You got to work hard, dedicate.
Following that, Frank Warren played a key role in organizing the historic trilogy between Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder, a saga that propelled Fury back to the top of the heavyweight division. Beyond the ring, the English promoter has been a constant source of support for Fury, standing by him through his mental health struggles. Warren has often praised Fury's determination to overcome his battles and rebuild his career. As Tyson Fury steps into the ring once again, it won't just be against Alexander Usyk, but also against the demons he has fought to keep at bay for years. Regardless of the outcome, it will be another inspiring chapter in the Gypsy King's story. Although Fury would undoubtedly like to win back his titles, his promoter, Frank Warren, reflected on the fight, saying, "I do think it took a toll on Usyk in that particular fight," speaking to Sky Sports.
And put a minimum of 20 years in to achieve anything. If you don't put a minimum of 20 years into something, you can't achieve nothing.
After the fight, I went into both fighters' dressing rooms. I was with Tyson first, and he was clearly disappointed, feeling he had done enough to win. It was a close fight, and there was still a lot of life in him. When I went to congratulate Alexander Usyk, he knew he'd been in a tough battle. It was the toughest fight he'd ever had. At the time, there were concerns he'd broken his jaw, and his manager mentioned an implanted tooth had been impacted into his gum. It was a grueling fight for both, fought at a high pace with many punches thrown. Warren believes Usyk will need to box the same way as before, but improve to win, while acknowledging Fury can vary his approach in the rematch.
Feel in Saudi Arabia, Britain has never made me feel well. They couldn't get behind the champion, but they're the ones who're going to misact them. Nobody else.
Do you think your son only returns to boxing?
Fury knows what he has to do. He knows better than me or anyone, Warren said. He's been in the ring with Usyk and seen the man's strengths and weaknesses. Meanwhile, Froch harshly criticized Fury's performance against Usyk, calling it terrible and unprofessional. He pointed fingers at John Fury, blaming him for making a mess and setting the stage for his son's first career defeat. Froch went further, slamming John Fury and placing the blame squarely on him, even comparing Tyson's corner to his own during his own boxing career.
We saw in Fury's corner that there are a bunch of different voices in his ear. When you fought, did you just prefer one voice in your ear? Because there were multiple voices on the night.
Former super middleweight world champion Froch criticized the overwhelming amount of instructions in Tyson Fury's corner. Speaking on *TalkSports, the Verdict * podcast with George Groves, Froch explained that during his own career, Robert McCracken was the primary voice in his corner. The 46-year-old said, "Tony Sims would give me a bit of instruction as I stepped off the stool, like keep that left hand up or get off to your right. Just a last bit of advice before heading into the round." Froch believes Fury Sr.'s excessive instructions hurt Fury's performance.
Sims, Joe Cordina's man, he was doing my cuts. I also had a guy called Mark Seltzer, but he didn't really give me much. He just gave me a little look and a nod and a wink. But
Froch added, "When you've got 3 people, including Big John Fury, the fighting man, shouting and screaming at you, while 2 others are giving advice, you're not listening to anyone." He continued, "I thought that was terrible and really unprofessional. He shouldn't be in there."
He's quite sort of nonchalant with his body language and it's disrespectful, and people don't like it. You know, if you're at the top and you're...
Froch further criticized Tyson Fury, pointing out that he survived a tough 9th round, during which Usyk landed a barrage of punches that left him staggering into the ropes and resulted in a standing 8 count. The 35-year-old is expected to exercise his contractual right to a rematch, which is scheduled for October.
Big John Fury, the fighting man, when you've got him in the corner shouting and screaming at you, whilst you've got 2 other people giving you advice, that means you're listening to absolutely nobody.
However, Froch has questioned Tyson Fury's hunger, believing that money has now become his primary motivation. This was part of the reason why Fury reacted, firing his father and criticizing the professionalism of his corner. Froch also raised doubts about Fury's hunger and motivation, which led to Fury responding by claiming that his career has been more successful and gracious than Froch's, even if he were to retire now. Froch continued to question Fury's true motivation in the sport.
Fantastic fighter, he's had an unbelievable career, but he's not what he thinks or what he's telling everybody or what Big John Fury's telling everybody, how he's unbeaten. No.
I think now Tyson Fury realizes his legacy may not be as intact as he'd like, Froch added. So now I think he's focusing on the money. Froch recalled overhearing a comment from Fury after the fight, where he looked over at Turkish entertainment mogul Alec, who was present in Saudi. Fury reportedly said, "Let's get the rematch on, show me the money," suggesting that money has become his primary focus now, as he looks to make more before retiring.